Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. All arriving passengers will soon be required to sign up for the One Health Pass system for faster health checks and quarantine procedures. Gerard de la Peña joins us live from Mandaluyong City for more details. Gerard, how is the pilot testing of this One Pass or One Health Pass system going?
Sean, it's looking good. That's why starting on September 1, those flying into the country will have to sign up to a platform that is meant to speed up health checks and other procedures in the airport, regardless of whether they are Filipinos or not. The Bureau of Quarantine and the Transportation Department carriers flying in and out of the country to implement the use of One Health Pass platform through the website www.onehealthpass.com.ph. Airlines must make sure that inbound passengers are registered at least 3 days before their flights. They are also required to fill out health declaration forms 24 hours before departure. The document includes the health condition of the travelers, as well as details of their vaccination, RT-PCR testing, and quarantine accommodations. Upon completing the requirements, passengers will be given QR codes. This could be used to easily determine how long a passenger needs to undergo quarantine. Quarantine Bureau Director Roberto Salvador Jr. said this will help passengers get rid of inconveniences. Data from the One Health Pass platform will also be sent to others such as the OWA, Marina, Coast Guard, and the One Stop Shop. The system has undergone 2-week trials and had a compliance rate of 80%. The BOQ said they are able to fix bugs that other users may encounter in the future. With this, the DOTR has been asked to ensure that all airports have available internet connection. Sean, meanwhile, for departing passengers, the Bureau of Quarantine said that booking for the issuance of yellow cards are full until December. That's why those who are intending to leave the country should make sure that they have confirmed flight bookings as well as overseas employment certificates so that they can line up for the yellow cards or proof of vaccinations. Sean.
Gerard de la Peña reporting to us live from Mandaluyong. Countries that were once tagged as the safest have started to plummet in COVID-19 rankings because of the threat of the Delta COVID variant. More details in this Bloomberg report.
We've seen places like New Zealand, which is #1 for such a long time, plummet down the rankings. They've gone into one of the world's strictest lockdowns because of the infiltration of Delta. At the same time, we see places like Israel and the US, who are really leading that reopening vaccination rollouts. They've also plummeted because of record surges of the Delta variant. So pretty much every model, every approach that has had some impact on the virus has been challenged by Delta.
At least, can we trust that those highly vaccinated countries are doing a bit better?
So that is a concern, but one of the most optimistic scenarios is in the Netherlands, which is ranked #2. They saw that Delta wave go up, but it came down with very, very low fatalities, and it didn't really disrupt reopening because vaccination maintained a shield against that spread of Delta. I think that's the best case scenario for places like the US and Israel right now as they deal with that Delta surge.
Of course, there were some countries that had a low ranking at the start of the pandemic and they're still low now. What do we know about those places that are really struggling?
Right. We're seeing the epicenter of the global outbreak really shift from regions from Latin America previously, and now where it's really centered is Southeast Asia. At the bottom of the ranking, all bottom 5 are Southeast Asian countries. This is a region now that has the highest per capita death toll in the world. You're seeing places like Indonesia really surge beyond 50,000 cases a day. In last place is Malaysia, where the economic growth forecast has been halved for the year. So these are places that will continue to struggle because rich countries are just holding on to that supply of vaccines, especially now with the desire for boosters. We're going to see that inequality continue to worsen this year.
And even so, we have seen some people avoiding vaccinations. One of the concerns has been the risk of blood clots from the vaccines. What do we know now?
Yeah, absolutely. The irony really isn't that some of these richer places, there's so many vaccines, and some people don't want to take them. What we know is that there was a latest study from the UK, which really has had a massive vaccination drive. Out of 10 million people who've received the AstraZeneca vaccine, only about 60 developed the risk of blood clots. That's compared to 10 million with COVID. That number of getting blood clots is about 12,000. So we know the risk of COVID is in every way much worse for your health than getting a vaccination.
And in politics, Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi's PDP-Laban faction is determined to endorse Senator Bongo as their standard bearer for the 2022 national elections. This is even after Go himself already declined the nomination. In a letter sent to Senator Go, Cusi told the lawmaker that they believe he is the best candidate to team up with President Duterte. Cusi appealed to Go for a reconsideration, saying they are now more convinced that endorsing him was the right choice. President Duterte earlier agreed to run as vice president under the ruling party. We'll have more stories after this short break. Keep it here. still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Health Department has reported over 22,300 new COVID-19 cases today. This is the highest single-day tally since the start of the pandemic. It's also brought the country's total caseload to 1,976,000, some 148,000 of which are still considered active. 187 duplicates were removed from the total case count. Meanwhile, 222 deaths were confirmed overnight, pushing the death toll to over 33,300. And after verification, 105 COVID-19 cases that were previously tagged as recoveries have now been reclassified as deaths. Total recoveries have hit 1,794,000, with over 16,800 new recoveries logged in the last 24 hours. 27.5% of the 65,200 total COVID-19 tests conducted yielded positive results. And let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. Healthcare workers from different hospitals staged a protest in observance of the National Heroes Day. They are calling for the immediate release of their long overdue special risk allowance, as well as other benefits promised to them by the government. The Alliance of Health Workers has warned that more medical frontliners will hold protests on September 1 for their National Day of Action. The International Criminal Court says an overwhelming number of victims support its request for a probe into President Duterte's war on drugs. According to the ICC registry, 192 of the 204 representatives from the Philippines want the Office of the Prosecutor to launch a full-blown investigation into Duterte's alleged crimes against humanity. The representatives said an impartial probe by the ICC could bring justice to their loved ones and put an end to impunity. And in sports, Filipino swimmer Ernie Gawilan has ended his Paralympics campaign after finishing 10th in the men's 100-meter backstroke S7 event. Another para swimmer, Gary Behino, landed 14th place in the men's 50-meter butterfly S6 preliminaries. Behino will still compete in 2 more games this week. First off is the 400-meter freestyle S6, and the other one is the 100-meter backstroke S6. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.